All right, glad to still have you with us. Thanks for staying with us. It is still in the game on New Central TV. Let's go straight to Ghana as the Black Stars prepare for the World Cup and prepare to actually challenge the teams that they'll be taking on, the likes of Portugal, Uruguay, and South Korea. In that one, we saw the team list released yesterday, and some notable names will be missing out of that one. But of course, they got a bit of call up for debut players, the likes of Abdul Salis Hamed, there is Danlad Ibrahim, and Kamal Sawa, and of course, a bit of players from the Ghana Premier League as well. Thomas Partey makes the list from Arsenal. There's also the Ayew brothers, and we have the Inaki Williams playing right there in for Ghana at the World Cup. But goalkeeper Jojo Walcott is missing because of injuries. There's also the second choice shortstopper Richard Ofori also suffered a knee injury, so he will not be going to Qatar. We have Jerome Otchere joining us all the way from Ghana to give us what he thinks about the team list, what the fans are saying, what everybody's saying, and should we believe Ghana can go far in this tournament? Good to have you with us, Jerome.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. And yes, before we saw that team list, we heard it was supposed to be dropped by 12 o'clock, and there was a bit of ceremony before the list was released.
Can you repeat the question? I barely heard what you said.
Okay, I said before that list was released, it was supposed to be dropped by 12 p.m., but we saw a bit of razzmatazz, a bit of ceremony before it was released. I'm wondering why did we have that kind of razzmatazz before the release of the list?
Well, I think it's because of how we chose to do it. I mean, the FA decided to put in some pomp and pageantry. You should have seen the event venue. There was a horde of media guys and girls. I mean, so many people trooping the place just to catch a glimpse of the coach come to the stage with his list. And the list actually had been put in a video. And so the video was released at the DSTV office in Accra. And then the coach had to answer questions from journalists. The razzmatazz you talk of is simply because, I mean, the FA has been trying to put up a buzz around Ghana's World Cup qualification. And to a large extent, I think they've succeeded trying to whip up enthusiasm in the public space and also encouraging Ghanaians to support the team. And yesterday's event perhaps was a climax of the kind of activities they wanted to have ahead of the squad naming and also ahead of the country's participation. As we speak, the team has left Accra for their camp in Abu Dhabi. They will play Switzerland in a friendly match and then proceed to Doha for the competition proper.
All right, so looking at the team list now, all over social media, some Ghanaian fans are not 100% excited with what we saw yesterday because some notable names who they felt should have featured in that list were missing, the likes of Afena Gyan. We understand the fact that some players are injured, but some other players did not get to make that list, and they actually feel they are quality players to not have made the list for the Black Stars of Ghana.
I think it's natural to have that kind of public reaction. We are always going to have fans divided over who should have been selected and who shouldn't have been selected. For me, the important thing is that the squad is out, and regardless of what we say, I mean, nothing is going to change. So in as much as I support the notion that people should be allowed to express their views as they wish on the squad, we also have to remember that at the end of the day, what is important is to support the team. I mean, we need to support the team that has been put out there because there's no foreigner in that squad. All of the players in that squad are Ghanaians. Yes, indeed, some people expected some players to be in the squad. I, for instance, was on national TV yesterday expecting some names to be dropped in there. Those names didn't come up. I mean, I was, for instance, expecting Jeffrey Schlupp to be in the squad. I mean, this is a DA who has played so well this season, and over time, he's been one of the players that has been overlooked by the national team selectors for reasons we don't understand. And even Joseph Pencil, if you are talking about our forwards in Europe this season, he's about the best.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, he was kept out of the team. Afenejan, one of the players that helped us to eliminate Nigeria. I mean, he's a youngster, and for some reasons, he's also not in the team. I think these were some of the three notable players that the general public expected the coach to include in his squad, but that didn't happen. Even there's another player, Bernard Tekpete. He was also expected to be named, but he's also not in the squad. What it means is that the coach sees things differently. For instance, he was asked about the exclusion of Jeffrey Schlupp, and he said that, look, selection is based on a few things. He said of the field issues and on the field issues. In the case of Jeffrey Schlupp, the coach made it clear that he was not selected because of the field issues. The issue this morning on radio has been that if indeed it was off the field issues, what are those issues? Are they issues of discipline, issues of attitude, or what are they? And these are questions that the coach could not elaborate on. He simply said that it's a family matter, and once the family has decided, let us stick to it. Ghanaians are sticking to it because at the end of the day, it is our team, and we need to support the team.
Very true. We need to support the team. And just so, for fans who don't know, all of the African countries going to the World Cup will be handled by African coaches. Are you seeing a bit of miracle happening for an African country, probably going past the second round into the quarterfinals and hopefully or possibly to the semifinals of the tournament? Because it looks like the African teams are quite strong and they have quality players.
I think this has always been the situation with African teams going to the World Cup. Most of the time, and I'm not looking down on our teams, I'm just saying that most of the time, we seem to have very good players, very good coaches, some good preparation. We get to the competition proper and the story changes. I have insisted that we need to be a little more cautious in terms of our expectation. Even for Ghana, I have said that my heart tells me we'll be able to make it to maybe the 1/16 stage, and that should be it. My mind tells me we might not make it out of the group. I mean, we might play just the 3 group matches and return home.
Some Nigerians actually support you with your mind.
Oh, yes. I mean, you see, in as much as I'm a Ghanaian and I will expect Ghana to excel at the competition, we're also looking at the strength of our team, the kind of preparation we've had, the opponents we are facing, and the competition we are likely to face. And these are realities we cannot run away from. In terms of the African contingent and who is likely to be excellent out there, I have tipped Senegal, but I'm also cautious because, you see, the competition out there is tough. Senegal might be African champions, but then when you get to the world stage, the competition is completely different. I would wish that we have more teams from Africa. I mean, maybe all the 5 or 3 or 4 of them making it beyond the group stage so that we can dream of progression beyond the knockout stages. And who knows, maybe we'll find an African team in the final. If we cannot make the final and we'll make, let's say, the last 4, I think that will be an improvement on our last records. I mean, records held by Ghana, Cameroon, and Senegal. So let's look out for the best, but also we should be realistic in our expectations.
Very, very true. Thank you very much, Jerome Otchere, for joining us. And we hope to have you some other time to keep talking about what's happening with Ghana and every other African team representing Africa at the World Cup. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure, Jonica.
All righty.